Hi, everyone. I'm Autistic and this is a podcast for adults who recently found out they're autistic and are looking for other autistic people like them. So I wanted to chat about the visit to the chocolate shop we had the other day because what happened there has happened to me many, many times before. And it's just one of those things that I wish that, like, okay, this has happened to me how many times? Like, how am I not, like, prepared to deal with this issue? And this issue has to do with people because don't they all have to do with people? But I'll set the scene for you. So let's see, what's today? Monday? Yep. So Saturday, was it? Or Friday? No, it was Friday. So Friday, well, actually Thursday night, sorry. Time, I'm not good at it. So Thursday night, I thought it would be a good idea to order chocolate from my favorite chocolate place. I mean, it's a bougie place. And it's not cheap. So I only get stuff from there like once or twice a year. And that's it. So I got there. It's like this box of like special chocolates and it was like $35. And I know that's a lot to spend on chocolates, but I wanted to. And so before I went to bed on Thursday night, I put an order in for it to be delivered to me on Friday. So when I woke up on Friday, my chocolate was waiting for me outside the door. And pretty much the whole box was gone like that night before I went to bed. So, which is not unusual for me when it comes to chocolate because I love it. But I was like, oh, this is so delightful. And it's like a whole experience too. I'm not just like, oh, this chocolate's good. Like, and I'm watching TV. Like, I am present. I am enjoying the different flavors. I'm looking at how the chocolate was made, the way that it's like decorated, like everything. It's a whole experience. And I like to have coffee with chocolate. And so, yeah. So here and there, I would like get some pieces of chocolate and take like 5 minutes and, oh, look at this chocolate and this one tastes good. And it's just, if you're going to spend that much money on something, then you better fucking appreciate it. That's what I think. Because I'm as cheap as they come. Like, I just spent, 25 or $30 on a hoodie yesterday. And like, that's too much. Like, I'm all about finding good shit cheap. And then keeping it forever. So I enjoyed my chocolate from my favorite chocolate shop. And I only ever order online. I've never been to the actual place. And it's not that far away, but if you can order something online, I would just prefer to do that most of the time. So that's what I do. But I did not know. So like what happened was Saturday, my wife knew I had gotten the chocolate the day before, but Saturday she thought that like she would surprise me. And so, after we went to breakfast, she starts driving somewhere and I'm like, where are we going? And she's like, it's a surprise. And I eventually was able to figure out what it was before we got there. And she's like, well, you've never been there in person. Maybe they have other stuff there. And they do. There was so much shit. There's chocolate and candy out the fucking ass in that store. And like online with like Grubhub, you only get like, you don't always get the full menu from places, I think. So yeah, I was expecting just this tiny little shop with like, some aisles of chocolate and that's it. But it was fucking huge. And there was one older lady there. She may have been like in her 60s and she was a nice lady. There was nothing wrong with the lady. This is just all my shit. So we walk in to the chocolate shop and immediately like there's like a wall of chocolate and fudge on one side and then a wall of like different candies and chocolate boxes on the other side. And that's just going into the store before you even turn to get into the rest of the store. So, like they were so tall I couldn't see. You can't see anybody over on the other side because the cash register was right there. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, so we walked in there, and as soon as we walked in there, this lady comes. She's like, "Hello," and I said hi. And she's like, oh, have you been here before? No, but I order online. And she was like, oh, well, let me take you on a little tour of the place. I don't like tours. I don't. Like, I want the option of taking a tour. This is a tangent, but like one time we went to Eastern State Penitentiary Prison, like when it, I think that's what the name of it was. It's like a closed down prison in New York, but people go there for tours. And so we went there like several years ago, and they actually gave you options. You could pick a tour guide and walk around with the person, and they'll do the boring, like, this is this, this is that. Or you can get like this little handheld device thingy with headphones and just have a guided tour that way, where it's just a recording telling you what you're looking at. I always opt for those. That was a very nice decision. So this is just what I'm talking about, but on a smaller level. Like, give people the option of saying no to a tour of your shop. Like, I know this sounds like such an asshole thing to say, but this is how I feel. If I had my own shop, like, I wouldn't just like bombard somebody as soon as they walked in, because I know how that feels. But I also understand, you want to be friendly, you want to have good customer service, but you don't have to be that friendly. Like, come on. Anyways, we went on the tour with her. And I never do well on tours because it's just, we're walking, she's talking, she's pointing, we're still walking, she's talking, she's pointing. I don't know what the fuck she's pointing at. I don't know what she's saying. I'm just wishing that this tour was over. And so it was. And then we just started looking around at the different things that they had. And there was like a few different times, lady was like, do you need help with anything? And I'm like, no. And that's another thing that I hate. Like, okay, thank you for the good customer service, but like, it's completely okay to greet the person when they enter the store and say, if you would like to be shown around, I'd be happy to do that. Or if you have any questions, feel free to come up and I'll help you out. That's all you have to say. And then leave the customer alone the rest of the fucking time they're in there until they come up and pay for their shit. Like, but do ordinary people think that that's rude? And that's why people are like so up your butt when you walk into their stores sometimes? Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I mean, I know it's not Walmart. They don't do that at places like Walmart. It's just these little shops that I don't like that this happens at. Because here's another tangent. A couple years ago, we went to this art store that was like an hour and a half away. And it had like different things you could buy to like paint, like canvases, and like, what are those little sculpture things? Plaster, or I don't remember what they're called. But it was in this, it was just an old, small, crickety place. It used to be a house, and everywhere you walk, it's just creak, creak, creak. And then like, you can't fart in there without being heard. And like, I just did not feel right in that store. It just was like weird and creepy. And the owner there, she was just like kind of following us around and, oh, do you need help with that? Like, what do we need help with? Like, what do I need help with? I see you're standing there. I know you're there, and I can ask a question if I need help with something. So like, why do you feel a need to say it again? Like, what the fuck? So like, I don't know even why I was talking about that, but like, it was a small business, like, and again, you're bombarded, and like, I don't get it. Like, do they think I'm gonna steal or something? That's a whole other story, which I'll go into right now because I'm autistic. So I have like 20 tattoos. The majority of them are on my arms. And when I was in my 20s, I would dye my hair black, and I wore a lot of like dark makeup, and I would walk into just any store, and I would get followed. And sometimes it was subtle, and sometimes it was very obvious, because it's like, you think I'm gonna steal because of the way I look. Like, what fucking year are you living in? Like, I don't know. So yeah, like, I don't like that. So how do I say this? That happened to me so many times that whenever I am in any store, I know that there's cameras, there's the security people, they're looking at you, they can see what you're doing. And like, I am so like, okay, my hands are not in my pockets. And when I like take my phone out of my pocket and look at it and put it back in my pocket, I always think that somebody's going to see me and think that I'm stealing something. Like a customer is going to think I stole something, or like, an employee's going to walk by and what did she just put in her pocket? Like, that's just how I feel all the time. And I know that that's not rational, but it's because I was followed around a lot. I never did anything. I just like, that's just shitty that people judge, and like, it's not like tattoos on women are a new thing, but like, when I was in my 20s, it wasn't like super common, at least like where I lived and the people I hung out with and stuff like that. So, I didn't see very many women with like tattoos all over their bodies. So like, I assumed that like they just made judgments and followed me around because they thought I was going to steal or do something. So yeah, because there's like, this does link back to the candy shop or the chocolate shop, because like I was going back toward the door to look at something, and the lady just immediately popped out of nowhere and she's like, "Oh, do you need help looking for something?" And I was like, "I don't need help looking for anything, but thank you." And my first thought was, oh, did she think I was going to walk out of her store with the stuff I already had in my hands and steal it? Like, that's the first thought that I had. So like, I'm dealing with like the store owner just being a normal store owner. She's not doing anything wrong. She's just doing what, nice store owners or business owners do. And it's a whole fucking issue for me inside my head. And so I try to like keep it quiet, because like I don't like to clue my wife in when I'm going crazy in my head. Like by going crazy, I just mean like I just want to get the fuck out, or I'm just screaming in my head like, stop fucking talking to me, leave me alone. And so I try to keep that to myself. And I got what I wanted. I just got a couple of things. I did not get like another box of chocolate because I already had one the day before, so I didn't want to get another box of chocolate. So I picked up a couple of other things that I wanted to try. And we get up there to pay for the stuff, and my wife hadn't seen like what was in my hands until we got up to the register, and she saw that I only put a few things down, and she looks at me and she's like, "Well, that's all you're getting? Like, don't you want like a box of chocolate? Like, I thought that's like what we came here for." And before she even finished, the lady was like, "Oh, you want chocolate? Like, we got chocolate boxes over there." And then she started coming around and she's like, "Let me go open one and show you what's inside it," because they like don't have descriptions of what's in it on the outer boxes. They're like Valentine's boxes, but there's like no description of like what the chocolates are. I mean, the only way I can describe it is such a bougie chocolate place that like they know that anything they sell is going to taste good. Like there was shit I was eating out of that chocolate box the one day that I would not normally eat, but it tasted fucking great. You know what I mean? So anyways, so like that had happened, and immediately in my head I was like, "Fuck you, Alicia," which is my wife's name. And then the lady was like coming at me. So I just turned and bolted down to the other end of the store where the boxes of chocolate were. I just grabbed a heart-shaped box of chocolate and I ran my way back up. And I thought, okay, I got my chocolate. They'll both leave me alone. Nope. The business lady was like, "Hey, do you even know what's in there? Do you want me to open it and show you? We can go look at the other ones." And I almost wanted to be like, then why the fuck don't you just put the descriptions of what the fuck's inside the boxes on the outside of the boxes like other stores do? Like, why? Why can't you just do that? Like, why would I want to buy a box of chocolate and not know what the fuck is in it? I mean, I would, because I eat almost any chocolate except Palmer's. That's just poison. But yeah, I don't understand why there were so many like just not labeled boxes. Like, does she like talking to people and that's a way to strike up a conversation? Like, I don't understand that at all. But yeah, so I was just hoping if I ran back up there with some chocolate, they'd shut up, let us pay, and like we can leave. And nope. Nope. And then the lady looked at me like it was that look. I think you guys know what I mean. Like she just gave me that look because I think it was starting to show on my face that I'm not okay. And to an outsider, I would be confused too. If I was that lady, I would be like, whoa, what is going on with that chick? She's like, she seems like she's on something because that's what it looks like, I guess, when I'm feeling really anxious. But I was like headed toward a meltdown in my head. And I realized it's already 15 minutes and I'm talking about a situation that was like less than 5 minutes long. And in my mind, there's like two kinds of meltdowns for me. One kind is the kind that is like a surprise meltdown, like, maybe I had been stressed out for a few days and wasn't really paying too much attention. And then all of a sudden something happens and like I'm in full blown like meltdown mode and I didn't even see it coming. And then having to deal with like hours of like the hangover. And then the other kind of meltdown is the one that why you're having it because you saw the signs in the days leading up to the meltdown. You knew that you were stressed with this. You knew that situation bothered you. And in my mind, I'm like, I'll just deal with my feelings like later on. And then I forget. And then it's the next day and something else happens. And then the meltdown happens. And as I'm experiencing it, I know like, okay, I'm feeling this way because A, B, C, D, and E. I prefer those kinds over the surprise kinds, which is the kind that I almost had in the store. Because I've not been stressed out lately. And I only really get stressed out when people are involved. So yeah, that was not a pleasant experience for me because that store was like a Willy Wonka, like factory. It was so fucking awesome. There was shit everywhere. And I like to take my time going through places like that because I will look at everything. I'll look at it again. I'll look up reviews on stuff. Like, I just like to take my time going through stores I really like, so I don't miss anything. But I couldn't do that because she was like everywhere. Popped out of a corner here, like I turned around, boom, there she is. Like, no, I don't want to just like slowly go through your store because like, are you going to think I'm really stealing? And that thought like goes back through my mind again too. It's like so fucked up because it's like, well, if I take my time going through your store, or do you think that like I'm putting chocolate in my pockets or something? And like, I'm like, I don't know. This is so irrational. Like, to be honest, it's kind of funny now, but it wasn't yesterday. And my wife had no clue until like we got into the car and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why did you just be like, why did you say, is that all you want? And she's like, well, because you usually get like a box of chocolate. And I was like, I just had a box of chocolate yesterday. And I got what I wanted. Like, and she didn't do anything wrong. I would ask the same question if I were her. So like, at least I'm aware that like, nobody's doing anything wrong. Nobody's doing anything they shouldn't be doing. I am just responding to normal behaviors that these other people are engaging in. I don't like it. That is so fucked up. It's so weird. Yeah, I mean, like, it really is funny. I mean, you should, like, I was like fucking running around in that store. Like it just wasn't funny then. The good news is the hangover didn't last too long when I got home, or what I mean is, dealing with the meltdown didn't last too long. And then I woke up the next day and there was no hangover. So I think I kind of staved off the meltdown. I'm pretty sure I did because things probably would have gotten worse. But anyways, so like, I just like, I feel like I'm allergic to people, except people like me. Like, what the fuck? Who says that? Like, now that I know that, like, you guys are similar to me, and there are people like me, like, that makes me feel so good. And I'm not allergic to people like me, because I like us. I'm just allergic to ordinary people that are sometimes just doing ordinary things, minding their own business, and I'm over here freaking out. And sometimes that's annoying. Actually, it's annoying every time it happens. But like, this is the first time I was able to, like, because it just happened. What's today, Monday? So just like 2 days ago, I would still be upset about that situation if I didn't know that I'm autistic. And I probably wouldn't have even known why I was still upset. So that's how, like, much I lacked awareness when it came to, like, autistic behaviors or whatever. I just didn't know. But, like, now that I know what's going on, I feel like I can get over stuff a little bit quicker and laugh about it, because it's funny to me. I have to laugh about it, because who does this shit that we do? Like, people think we're weird because they see us doing things that, like, aren't very common, I guess. It's just not the normal, like, I can always spot, now that I know, like, I'm autistic, I have researched autism, I'm still in the rabbit hole of autism research, but, like, I feel like, when you buy, like, a red card and you see, like, red cars everywhere all of a sudden, I feel like that with, like, autism, like, you're autistic. I can just tell, like, in a store. It's hilarious to me because they shop like I do. Like, the ones that are, like, walking up and down the aisles pretty quickly, just in there and out because there's too many people. There's other ones that are more obvious that have, like, headphones on. And I think to myself, I wish I had the ability to wear headphones out in public, but because of my paranoia of needing to hear everything that's going on around me, like, it's just a double-edged sword. But I always like seeing people out with their headphones on, blocking out the noise. But it's nice when I see, like, I don't see, like, lots of who I think might be autistic, but I've seen a few, and it's like, I feel like I'm at a zoo. Like, look at that over there. Because, like, I'll tug on my wife's, like, sleeve and be like, look over there. That person's autistic. Like, this is how I know. Like, I'm not judging them. I'm not trying to judge. I'm just, I can see. And I feel like I'm at a zoo and I can't pet the, what do you pet at zoos? I don't know. Camel? A petting zoo? I don't fucking know. I feel like I'm at a zoo and, like, I want to pet this animal, but I can't get to the animal to pet it. And when I see somebody that I am assuming is likely autistic, I really just want to go up and be like, oh my God, like, do you know you're autistic? Please tell me you know, because, like, I want, like, an in-person autistic friend, because, like, I don't have that. But I would never go up to people because, no, I wouldn't want people doing that to me. But anyways, does this even have anything to do with anything I was talking about? I don't know. I think I'm done. Yep. Cause now I'm starting to have trouble talking. I just wanted to get on real quick and record about this chocolate shop fiasco because I think it's funny, even though sound like maybe I'm complaining. I'm not. Like, it's just funny now. And, thank goodness for awareness, because I can just laugh at myself a hell of a lot more than, like, I used to, because now I know what's going on. So yeah, I don't think I'll be going back to that store probably ever again. But I took an inventory of what was in there, so I'll just send my wife. Hopefully one person out there can relate to this. So yeah, that's all I've got. I don't know how helpful this was, but hopefully it was a little bit. Well, this was just me recording to an app on my phone, hoping people find me, listen, relate, and feel like I did when I heard myself on somebody else's podcast for the first time. Okay, bye.